Hi there friends, it's wonderful to see you back in front of the screens over there. Today is a really special day because my new camera arrived this morning. Can you guess what it is? If you've just said, probably he bought the Sony A7 III in front of the screen over there, then you're right. I did buy the Sony A7 III, and as this camera actually first is supposed to come out in April, I'm pretty lucky that I found a shop which sent it via express to me. Still took 5 days, so this video could have been out a lot earlier. But hey, I'm really happy to have this camera, and yeah, let's have a quick look at it and I will share my first impressions of it with you. So I have been a Sony user for a really long time. I think something like 6-7 years. I really would need to look it up. So this is actually still my first Sony camera that I've used for a lot of work. This is the Sony NEX5N. This has been a really good camera. It's wonderfully small, as you can see. If you compare it to the Sony Bodies of today, it's a lot smaller, but it's not supposed to be about this one. So in the time leading up to the release of the Sony A7 III, I was a little bit like, meh, I really don't know if I'm excited about this. And I was like still thinking I'm going to get the A7R III, which is the high resolution model, the one with the 42 megapixels. But then there was the event in Las Vegas in the end of February, and they launched this, and I saw the specs and I was like, whoa, I'm sold. And it's not only because it's a superb photography camera, it's also because it seems on paper the video capabilities of this camera are on par with the Sony A7S II. So it has a really good low light performance. If you're checking out the videos that other YouTubers have made in the past couple of weeks, you will see this camera can go to really high ISO levels in video mode and also in photo mode and get superb results. So that really had me like, yeah, I want this camera. And the best thing is, on Monday I am leaving to go on a Transalp ski tour where I'm going to be photographing and skiing from Switzerland to Austria to Germany. So it's going to be 5 days of really tough skiing and a lot of action, and I think that's where this camera will see its first real good test, and I will be able to report after that how this camera has performed in this high alpine environment, and I hope I can show you a couple of really good shots. So the specs of the Sony A7 III are one thing, but what really won me over was the price. In Europe this camera retails as a body only for 2,200 euros, or I think it was 2,500 with the kit lens. So because I already have some really good full frame glass that I've been using with the Sony A6500 that I'm filming on right now, which is a crop sensor, so this full frame glass hasn't seen its potential on that camera yet. But because I knew I'm going to get a really good full frame camera in the future, I invested in the really expensive glass, and that pays off right now. So I've got this one over here, I've got the Zeiss Bodies 18mm over here too. So that are two full frame lenses that will work wonderfully with the Sony A7 III, and I'm really excited how this camera and this lens will work together and what kind of images I can get out of it. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. Also, the battery was empty as it arrived, so I'm going to put this charging right now, and then I will take it out into the beautiful sunny winter weather we have here in Vaasa, Finland. And after that I think I will try to do some night photography tonight. It's a new moon, so there should be really good possibilities to see a lot of stars, and I will try to get some good shots in already tonight. And then of course I am ski touring in Switzerland, Austria and Germany next week, and that's going to be like landscape and action sports photography, and I'm really curious to see what this camera can do with its 10 frames per second and 93% of autofocus points coverage on the sensor. So I will say this cliche thing of stay tuned. When I come back in a week, I will have a really good insight what this camera is capable of in terms of sports and landscape photography in a very high alpine environment and in very cold temperatures, and then I can tell you more about that. So subscribe and hit the bell next to it if you haven't subscribed yet, and follow along on Twitter and Instagram. Along the trip I will already share some impressions of this camera over there. Alright, thanks for watching and see you the next time.